Welcome to the Leading Second podcast, a space to help church leaders thrive in the second chair. The Leading Second podcast releases every Thursday morning, so hit subscribe and share this episode with your team. Let's jump into another episode for all of us who lead from the middle.
Well, Leading Second, welcome back to Season 8 of the Leading Second podcast. And hey, what is our 200th episode of the Leading Second podcast? My name is Brandon Stewart, and it is an honor to have you join us in this space today. We've created Leading Second for all of us who lead from the middle. So if you find yourself on a church team in any capacity, Leading Second is for you. It's our honor to have you join us. And first of all, today, we're at Team Church One Day in Florence, Kentucky, the Cincinnati area. We're so excited to be a part of the Team Church tribe and be at the Team Church One Day. So if you hear some noise in the lobby behind us, that's what's going on.
We are live.
And I stacked the group today.
You did.
We're not supposed to have favorites, but I think all the favorites are here. Right. Pastor Tracy Keene, who first of all is
the number one
podcast fan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You found her. Have you listened to all 200?
All 200.
And you were on episode 100.
100. And now to be on episode 200.
So you're just the centennial.
I'm the centennial one here. I'm so honored to hold that title.
Well, we love you.
Pastor Brandon, I received an email recently from Pastor Tracy, and that's actually in her signature.
I mean,
Number one fan of the Leading Second podcast.
I would expect that.
It's in her bio now.
I would expect that. We've got Dillon and Leydanis Ritchie from CoastLife Church in Venice, Florida. They help us pastor our Leading Second camp event and do a whole help us do a whole bunch of other stuff throughout the year. Say what's up to everybody, guys.
So excited to be here. Leading Second has played such a huge role in our walk with God and our ministry. So what an honor that we get to be here in Kentucky. Your Miami girl is in Kentucky.
Uh-oh.
Never thought I would say that.
She just figured out she's in Kentucky, by the way. She thought she was in Cincinnati the first 4 hours.
Here in Kentucky, it's a whole different.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Thank you.
We got a second chair alumni. I think that's the word we use now.
Yes.
Lead pastor. We let a couple sneak in today. Pastor Dan Lord, who I have to credit. I've learned so much from you over the years about the second chair. So 200, come on.
Man, I feel like this is our 1976 moment, our 200th year. You know, it's like, wow, this is a big episode.
Well, we just turned 7 years old. It's a number of completion, I guess. So, you know, it's all
incredible.
It's all.
I know for me, man, I wish 25 years serving my pastors as a second chair leader. There was nothing like this. There was one little skinny book that had about 70 pages called God's Armor Bearer.
Yeah, Terry
Nance came out with Armor Bearer 2.
Terry Nance.
And, you know, that was it. It was like, shut up, go back in there and do your job, you know?
That's funny.
Still great advice.
But this, to have episodes that you can go and listen to.
We have an app now.
Conferences you can be a part of and coaching groups. It's amazing. It's amazing. We celebrate you and Lindsay and all that God's put in your heart for the second chair leader.
What's really great, though, is that Leading Second is moving from being a ministry we started to a true tribe. We use the word tribe on purpose. It actually means something to us. It's not a kitschy leadership word. We actually believe that God's called us to do this together. And so we have a whole tribe, first of all, just of coaches now that coach and people that minister. So it's really special. We're proud of it. Pastor Jason Warman, welcome to the Leading Second podcast, one of our early Leading Second supporters. As a church, as a ministry, I absolutely love your voice. I make you come on the podcast anytime we want to talk about something controversial. So I don't know if we want to go there today or not, but that's apparently the seat that you sit in.
Yeah, you know, I've started introducing myself as a narcissistic cult leader, according to my Google reviews, because of all the content that I get into. But it's great to be on with you. Everybody's said congratulations, but man, 200 episodes. 7 years, thinking back to the first time you came to CoastLife and helped, you were the foundational piece of developing our first second chair. Like, you helped. I don't know if you even remember, but we sat down and put together a lead team and values for CoastLife Church.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see. That was long before it was leading second.
You guys, I was so nervous. I think you were for me trip 5 or something, like my first year.
That's amazing.
First time to Florida. I was so nervous, and I was trying to be this really like cool consultant. So during Christmas, I had gone to J. Crew.
There it is.
And I had bought like J. Crew sweaters.
Wow.
And like I had some Kohan dress shoes. Like I looked really good. But
This
then I went
episode
to
is sponsored
Florida.
by J. Crew.
There you go.
But then I went to Florida in May. None of that works in Florida in May. I was putting on Sunday morning clothes going, this is the wrong move right now.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
You don't need a sweater.
I
in
was
Florida
just faking
ever,
it.
but especially
faking it till
May,
we made it. So thank you for putting up with a guy who really tried to help but probably didn't know what he was doing 13 years ago or whatever that was.
Well, I think
CoastLife is a
the fruit of it
miracle
is,
what
I think
God
you
is
know what
doing.
you're doing, Brandon. I think you're going to make it.
CoastLife's a miracle. We love what God is doing there. Okay, so today, I just kind of wanted to get back to the why. Why did we do this? I think of Lindsay and I. We weren't bored. We weren't looking for something to do in ministry. Yeah. Ministry was full. Life was good. I often say, if anything, this has complicated our life to do this. But God got a hold of us, and I think something I'd love to talk to you about is the dignity of the second chair.
Great.
Yeah.
We, at our first Leading Second camp, I was bringing my first message, nervous as heck, to do it, but I just said this phrase, second chair is not second class.
Amen.
And I think it probably now embodies everything I believe about the second chair. There's dignity. It shouldn't all be a race to get to the top.
That's right.
That for those of you who do serve as lead pastors, we value you and we honor you, and you have answered God's assignment and call for your life. But many of us are actually just called to hold up your arms.
Right.
Yes.
We're not all gunning for the first seat. So maybe we could just talk a little bit about that today. Why are second chair leaders valuable and important in the kingdom of God? I mean, you've been pastoring now for a few years in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, we're 6 years in.
About ready to open your third location, by the way.
Beautiful.
It's incredible.
Very exciting.
Oh,
Fall
congratulations.
Sunday, hopefully.
I saw pictures yesterday.
Hopefully.
I heard, hopefully, yeah. I saw pictures yesterday.
We got permits and be brave for us, but very excited.
Why does it matter?
Man, without a strong team, we're only capable of reaching a few people. It literally affects the harvest. I was sharing with my church this weekend, I'm like, because we use fiber optic cables and cameras and broadcasts, to multiple locations. I'm like, I can only be in 3 rooms out of 8 gatherings. If you have to have me, you're in trouble. Will you be willing to not just embrace the new of a new technology, but new leaders? And I think about, oh my goodness, I walk into church and I see the layers of leaders that are taking care of everything and expanding God's house. And the way I describe it to our church is I'm the loudmouth that God's called me to broadcast the vision, but I can only do that. And I can't be the hands, the feet. I can't do what really needs to be done in church. And without the team, we're nothing. We're stuck,
Update for you, you can now find this episode of the podcast in video form on Leading Second Plus, alongside the whole library of online courses designed to help church leaders thrive in the second chair. We know there's a tension when you're leading from the middle, and that's why we've created a space for leaders just like you who want to get it right for your pastor and develop skills and wisdom to know that you're winning at your role. So you'll be able to get new content regularly, anytime, anywhere, from world-class leaders that you know and love, and you'll get exclusive second chair leadership development content from our library. So we're happy to offer you a 7-day free trial. If you want to check it out, you can go to leadingsecond.com to take your new step in leadership development.
Too often we associate greatness with a title or position or an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Here's an exercise for us. Name a recent Nobel Peace Prize winner. Can you think of one? Who won the last gold medal for the 100-meter dash, the Olympics, or who.
Man, don't put us on Jeopardy. We don't fail.
No,
here.
we're
not doing well.
We would not be the prize
Leading second
winners.
Jeopardy. We're not doing very good.
Can we do Bible trivia?
Yeah, good point.
If no one answers, we technically are all tied for first still.
But think about it. Like, those are incredible lifelong accomplishments,
Right.
and you can't name one. Now, think about this. Name a teacher that had an outsized impact on your life.
Mrs. Cambon, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Franklin Middle School.
Yeah, Mrs. Shepard, senior year AP calculus teacher.
Frank Confidence.
Name a youth leader that changed the trajectory of your life.
Boom. Kevin
So
Harper. Yep.
you can go to those names instantly.
Yep.
So maybe greatness is something totally different than what
Yes.
the world tells
good.
us. And all of those people, by the way, were second chair leaders somewhere
Absolutely.
who owned their moment with you,
That's right.
right? So
Very good.
I just think we have a skewed view of greatness
Yeah.
and what it means, the value of it. What does it mean to you, Pastor Jason, as a lead pastor?
Yeah, I think, I grew up in a church world, pretty small, and there was no value on a team. There was no value on leadership in the church. And so, like, there would be people I would watch that would go start a church or take a church that really had no call for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was nowhere for them to go in the local church.
Wow,
Because it wasn't
wow.
valued. And so they would go, and then the church would stay small. The church they started would stay small. And I don't know when it happened, and I'm so thankful for Leading Second and the idea of, like, what if instead of just trying to do stuff in a silo by ourselves,
Yep.
what if we just got a bunch of talented people together that had the same heart and just locked arms and stayed together, and we valued like what we have, and like, you don't put a lid on somebody, you value, and like, hey, you can rise in the local church. God can do anything he wants to do through your
Yes.
life, being a part of the local church. And I know it's so cliche because everybody's used it from politics to church, but we really are better together.
We really
that's,
are.
That's not a cliche. The
Yep.
cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're true. And we really are better together. And you think about the body of Christ, and so much emphasis gets placed on the lead pastor. But what I do is so specific. I mean, I am not the best pastor in our church. I'm not the best leader in our church. I'm not the best
Wow.
whatever in our church.
Wow.
Like, there are so many parts of our local church body where people have an anointing, a gifting to excel
true.
in an area that I don't have. So I get the privilege. I mean, it's a huge blessing to sit in the seat that I'm in, but I hope and I pray that people in the second chair are thriving like these guys who
That's right.
are the best in the business.
That's
and
right.
Getting to watch them flourish. And I think for senior pastors, like, there's just a moment that triggers in your life where, because if you're not careful, you're senior pastor doing everything.
Yeah.
And you become the answer man, you become the solution man, you become the big man that everybody goes to. And every lead pastor needs to get to the point where they take more pride in seeing somebody else do it than them accomplishing something themselves.
I got one more question for the lead pastors among us today. I feel like in the early days, so much does rest on the church planter or the pastor. You are making decisions that are setting future culture. So, the tablecloth color at the volunteer party probably does matter to you, right? In those days. But I think pastors, you get a little bit of growth. And pastors just end up too essential to the church. Like you have to make every decision. Every decision's got to go through you. And at some point, it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Sustainable.
So wouldn't you argue, and not healthy, at some point you need owners
Yes.
around you. At some point, someone else has got to be able to own the tablecloth color
Yes.
and take it further than a tablecloth. Maybe it could be a whole place setting.
I would say to lead pastors that are joining us today, you have to decide, like my wife and I have to decide again and again, we have to come back to it. Would we rather have a church that's so big and so influential and so impactful that we don't know what's going on in our own church?
Wow.
Or do we want to know everything and control everything? Like, even with our kids, They're disappointed in us sometimes. They'll ask us, what time is such and such started? I'm like,
I don't
didn't
know.
even know we were doing that at church tonight. But Dad, you're the pastor. I know, people think I know everything. I don't actually know. And even people in our church, I find I'm a disappointment sometimes in the lobby. They're trying to find out. But I think we have to decide that. And the opposite is then for second chair leaders have to decide, do I want to be a part of something great and allow my pastor to not know the details, but I get to own it?
Yeah.
By doing that, we create a room for ownership.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then they grab on. And man, I just tell you, I would say, I want to just go back to the first one, the value of it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize for 25 years how valuable I was to my pastor until I became a lead pastor.
Wow.
And when he said, man, I appreciate you.
Wow.
Man, that meant way more to him. And now I know what that means.
Wow.
Man, you are here. Your stability, your energy, your passion, your drive, and I would just say to second chair leaders, man, when your pastor tells you, I appreciate you, thank you so much for all you do.
Yes.
Yep.
It's coming out of a deep well.
Man, yeah. Because when somebody says, hey, can I get with you?
Wow.
We don't know if you're telling us you're leaving or not. And you just want to talk about the color of the tablecloths at the new members.
Can I put out a public statement? Pastor Jason, we're not leaving.
We really do just want to talk about the tablecloth.
I didn't know if that's what this was about.
We've brought you here
this is
today.
a good platform. Yeah.
Dillon and Lays, why do you serve in the second chair?
Yeah, I think for me, I told the story at Leading Second Camp recently, and I didn't grow up in church. So when you don't grow up in church, you have no ministry aspirations. So I showed up, and
They bred it in us somewhere.
I loved what was going on, and I was like, man, if I could be a part of that, please tell me how. So I just started saying yes.
Wow.
Yes, I'll hold a pop sign. Yes, I'll park cars. Yes, I'll help somebody find a seat. Yes, I'll watch your kid.
Yeah.
Because I love what God is doing here. And maybe if I could just reframe it for a second chair leader, like if the reason you're at your church is about you and your future, you probably have the wrong frame of mind. But if the reason you're at your church and the reason that you're serving at your church is because you're like, man, I love what God is doing here and I want to be a part of it, then you have an accurate frame of mind. CoastLife Church is a miracle that God is doing in Southwest Florida, and it is a privilege and an honor to be a part of it. And I don't have to say that. I say that because it's the truth. Yeah. And I get the privilege to be a part of that.
But going back to the ministry aspiration thing, don't you think we've got to reframe calling? Calling is really not about us. I think we make it so much about discovering your calling. What is God calling you to do? Jesus, part of the premise for calling is Matthew 9:36 and 37. Jesus saw the crowds harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And what was his immediate response? Pray and ask the Lord of the harvest to send laborers into the harvest field. Your calling is actually not about you. Your calling is about the assignment that God has to meet someone else's need. We are called to run to someone else's point of pain. The reason we started this ministry is I saw too many leaders underserved. Like I said earlier, we weren't looking for something to do. We saw a group of people who needed help and who needed serving. I was tired of going to your churches and we were drawing lead teams like we did at CoastLife back in the day. We just didn't have any way to help. We didn't have any way to train. We didn't have any way to serve. And I saw leaders, quite frankly, walking away and missing their calling. So your calling is actually attached to the thing you're a part of. It's attached to somebody else's need. We got to stop framing calling as about us ourselves.
Right. And attached to a person.
Yes, I was just going to say
Exactly.
that. I was just gonna say that.
Attached to a person.
Talk about that.
So you're either attached to a man and woman of God.
Yep.
You're either attached to or called to a house, a local church, or you're called to that city.
Beautiful.
And one has to settle within one's heart where one's calling actually lies. Because once one settles that, once it's locked in, once can enjoy and thrive and be found faithful in that second chair and help others to celebrate and grow and find hope and be attached and stay for the long haul in that local church, serving that man and woman of God.
Amen.
I think that is godly. I think that is biblical. My assignment in life and in ministry is a Kevin and Sheila Gerald.
There it is.
And whatever they're in for, I'm in.
There it is.
In fact, I will tell you this, leading second, part of the DNA behind it is I saw Pastor Kevin for years trying to talk to teams and talk to leaders, but there was an angle he couldn't get to because he was a lead pastor.
Wow.
There was an angle, it's like he just couldn't quite get to some of the nerve, because when pastors talk about it, it can almost be a little self-serving. You talk about honor, well, yeah, you're the recipient of the honor, of course. So when a second chair leader can say, let's honor our pastors, totally different tone. So really, this whole thing is because I saw the assignment on his life. Yep. And I just wanted to do something to accomplish it. So it's attached to the person. I think that's really godly.
That's exactly what leading second did, is it gave us language to that. Like Dillon said, we didn't have any ministry experience. We showed up at church and we were like, we're supposed to be here. But then we also felt a calling to Pastor Jason and Pastor Heidi.
That's right.
And we didn't have people that were like, that's normal. Like there was no one that was equipping us. And then through leading second, we were like, no, we are called to hold their hands up. We are called to move their mission forward, to serve at this church. And it gave us the verbiage so that we could model what honor looked like in our church for second chair leaders. So we could model what it meant to run the race that your pastor has placed you in, the vision that he's casted. So it's just been really, it's given us handles on something that at times could have felt like second class, but it was like, no, it is a worthy title to carry the title of a second chair leader and hold your pastor's hand.
There you go. I think we got some StrongPoint Church.
Let's go.
Oh, StrongPoint's in the house.
Come over here for a minute. Yes.
Come on, we got
say hello to everybody, StrongPoint Church.
Hey,
Pastor
happening?
Tracy's crew.
Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Just wanted to say hello. Do you guys, I'm sure you're podcast listeners.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not putting you on the spot, but I'm just saying, best podcast on the internet. Do you have a question you often wrestle with in ministry that we could wrestle with today?
With you and tackle it. Let's go.
So I love what you just said and kind of unpacked about the calling and how it's not about you. So knowing that, like, I'm a longtime member of my church, and I guess my question is kind of what's the secret to staying focused, staying energized, staying inspired when you know you're called to the long haul, you know you're called to your pastors? Like, how do you stay fresh, stay sharp, and continue to be who you were at the beginning?
Well, I stay focused through coffee. So, I mean...
Vanilla lattes.
And being in rooms like this, right? This is how we stay fresh. Yep.
What do you guys think?
I would say that if you stay in alignment with the vision, you'll always celebrate what they celebrate. So if your goalpost is something different than your pastor's, when we reach the vision, you won't celebrate. And there has to be moments in ministry where you can celebrate. There has to be wins that you achieve. There has to be something within each season of ministry that you can look back and go, God did something in this season. Keeps you fresh, it keeps you excited about what God is doing. But if you're in misalignment, if you're not in alignment with your pastor's vision, then when we reach a vision, you won't be happy about it. And that's where discouragement and frustration will come in. So if you stay in alignment with the vision, communicate it often, make sure that your heart's right. When you reach the vision, it gives us an opportunity to celebrate as a team, and then we move forward together.
I would say keep the willing spirit. Volunteer again. We have to keep that in our hearts, whether we're paid or unpaid. God doesn't see a difference. We're all ministers of the new covenant. And so just keeping that volunteer spirit in our heart, like, Lord, I'm willing. That's how I started. Didn't know hardly anything about the Bible, leadership. We just show up and you're willing, like, Lord, I'm willing to do whatever, whenever, wherever. And he's like, okay, I can do something with that. I think the obedience part, alignment part is more in Isaiah 1, those that are willing and obedient. Obedience like the alignment, but it needs to be like, I'm not just aligned, but I'm doing it with a joyful, happy attitude. And I have to re-up, like, okay, Lord, I'm willing again. Keeping that willing
constant
spirit.
Saying yes. It's that constant examining of one's heart to make sure that my heart is aligned and that my heart is being guarded from outside forces and poison. and other church members who have lost their vigor for ministry. So don't hang around those fringy other church members.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, guys. We love you. We love your church so much. I also have another friend right over here. Would you be willing to come ask us a question? You are literally taking notes. You are taking notes.
Taking notes.
Would you be willing? Come on over.
Come on over.
We're just meeting for the first time live in front of the world. How about that?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Hey, I am from Field of Grace.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
We love Field of Grace outside of Louisville.
Outside of Louisville.
That means you're a first timer to this room. We're so happy to have you.
Wow.
What's your question?
Well, for me, it's kind of like I am a new Harvest Lead Connect, and so it's like trying to connect the servant spirit for like our partners for the church. How do you go about when your church is growing exponentially to truly develop those leads and those champions underneath your pastor and the pastor's wife? It's like, so what's the quickest, fastest way to equip everyone for God's kingdom?
That's a good question.
I'm going to take a stab at this. Great question. It's a complex issue. How do you raise up a leader? More than we have time for now. But I think a simple answer could be people will hear what you say, but they will become who you are.
Yep.
So in the simplest form, they have to see it. Leaders are trained in a classroom, but developed in the wild. So there's a time and a place for a class, but then there's a time and a place for, and you're brilliant at this, just the do life with factor. Hey, I'm going to go move these chairs. Come move them with me. Come with me.
Beautiful.
I'm going to go help this thing pastor asked me to do. Would you come with me? Let's serve. It just has a way, follow me. It just has a way of rubbing off. So making a complex issue very simple, that's what I would say, is you've just got to bring people with a model. Live it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Guys, we're excited about the future of Leading Second. We're excited about another couple hundred episodes. Will you come back on 300?
Yes.
Whenever that happens.
I would be so honored.
The
We're
most
gonna need the
energy
calendar
in the whole
invite.
world.
We put Pastor Tracy on anytime we need like a hype woman, you know. She just brings it.
Tell us how great we are.
Every single time. Well, first of all, you know, to Pastor Dan, Pastor Jason, we honor you, and as a proxy for all of our pastors, we thank you for leading in the first chair, and we know that it's not easy. Every pastor I've ever sat with who talked about the first chair described it as weight. There's just a weight that you carry that we don't know, so we recognize that today. We honor that today. And I think, you know, Dillon and Leydanis, Pastor Tracy, thank you so much for just adding value to this ministry. Thank you for modeling what it means to lead with integrity and character and faithfulness in the second chair. And thank you for just always bringing your best to our tribe.
Pastor Brandon, let me ask you one more question really quick. What are you most excited about for the next season of Leading Second?
Oh, yeah.
Land the plane.
Land the plane.
He's going to unveil a whole new thing right now. It's a big announcement.
Well, so one of the quiet things we're starting to work on is we are working on a new coaching initiative around counseling. Like, we actually want to provide licensed professional counseling for leaders if and when they need it. Coaching, we do a lot of coaching right now, and it bumps up against some really tough issues that we're not qualified. And I have some godly, church-loving friends I've grown up with all my life who are preparing, and some others who are preparing to actually do this in a way that we feel is church-building, God-honoring. We're not going to make mental health some conversation it doesn't need to be, but just meet the very, very real needs. So that's just kind of a little thing we're working on right now. But again, do it in a church-building, God-honoring way. I'm really excited we're developing our coaching team right now. I'm excited to do less coaching, quite frankly, because I want to unleash an absolute army of coaches across the nation. And I think my big project, when you're around a marathon runner, all they talk about is running marathons, like it's just everything's about running. Well, my marathon right now is I'm writing a book. And so by next February, we'll have our ministry's first book out. And I don't want to talk about it yet, but I'm getting ready. I'm over halfway through the first draft. And
congratulations.
It has been,
let's go.
It has, when you hear people say it's a labor of love, it is so true. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in ministry, but we're working on it.
Well, we haven't had a book on this subject in 30 years, so.
Darren is. God's heart repair. No, there's some great books, but we're going to take an angle I don't think I've seen talked about.
Awesome.
Oh, wow, let's go.
We'll just kind of leave it.
Beautiful.
Leave it right there.
For all of
the
us,
plane right there.
all of us who lead from the middle. Hey, Leading Second, we love you. For those of you who listen to the podcast regularly, happy 200th birthday, I guess. Is that how you say it? We're so thankful for this community all over the world. Of those of you who serve faithfully in the church and lead from the second chair, you're a part of this podcast community. We love you. We're going to keep bringing you. We got some good episodes coming up this year, like really, really good. So you're going to want to stay tuned. But until then, Leading Second, we love you. Let's run strong for the kingdom and lead in an uncommon way together. God bless you all.
It is our honor to serve churches and leaders across the globe. We equip ministry leaders with the coaching, events, and resources needed to embrace their calling, get it right with their pastor, and lead in an uncommon way. Visit our website, leadingsecond.com, to learn how we can come alongside you as you lead from the middle. From the second chair, for the second chair.